Hi guys, I thought I'll try and test my new cards out, which are oracle cards for past lives. So, as they always say in other tarot reading videos, not everything always resonates, as they say. Take it with a grain of salt as well, but you never know. Let's give them a whirl. If it looks like I'm looking to the left, it's because my camera's over here, given that I'm using my phone. So if it looks like I'm looking over there, it's because my camera's over here. It's my phone. Move it. Better. It's because I'm looking at the screen is why it looks like I'm looking to the left. Let's see. Music? Again, music. Like this culture. Music could have had an important role then, maybe even now. Music. Again, like Asian style, monk or nun. So Christian music, Asian music. Yeah, music. Like I'm hearing like an Asian style music, and then others coming in like Turkish. No, not Turkish. Bollywood music, and then Roman, ancient Greek kind of thing. I'm having to follow a PDF on my phone because I didn't get the guidebook with the deck. Let's see if I can find the card. Says that you drew this card as a result of your past lifetimes as a monk, nun, or someone similar. This means that you lived a life filled with isolation, rules, and spiritual devotion. In your lifetime now, you may notice that your tendency to isolate yourself from others. In fact, you likely feel most comfortable when you're by yourself. Other people may even refer to you as a monk. If this pattern is interfering with your relationships, you might consider having sessions with a qualified past life regressionist. In addition, you may have taken vows as a monk or a nun that may be interfering with your relationships, career, and more. Unless these vows are severed, they carry forward through time. So, for instance, if you took a vow of poverty, you may be struggling today with financial insecurity. Other past life vows could be connected to chastity, which can impact your present romantic life, or self-denial, which causes you to feel undeserving or fearful of abundance. Often it's enough simply to consciously bring the memories of these vows to the surface in order to release them. Then it's just a matter of clearly severing them in all directions of time. You can do so by simply saying that the following: I hereby sever and release any vows that are self-destructive in all directions of time for everyone involved. Yeah, it sounds like I'm off kilter, but I don't talk this much often. So, and I find it hard to say words at the moment because my pronunciation's a bit weird. Because yesterday morning I had 3 teeth pulled on the same side, which is, yeah. And I'll be honest, that is my fault because I don't brush. Oops. Which is really giving me a kick up the bum. Stop brushing, yeah. I'm gonna... could have been a monk in, again, Southeast Asia, but I don't know what that is, South Asia. But obviously, when you say monk, you still think, oh, China. No, there are monks in other Asian countries like Japan, because monks of, because Japan is very well known for its temples, and you will see people just because monks are also known as nomads as well. There's many words to them. Someone you know might have been a monk or a nun in this present life, but back then could have had the same life choice back then, and kind of feels like the same. You don't want to meet up unless you have to. But other than that, you just stay at home and talk over the phone or feel connection. Like you have a friend who's got similar connections to this. I don't always shuffle left to right, but if the cards are small enough and I can do it, I'll do left to right. But if it's bigger cards like the tarot deck, it'll be right to left. To be honest, when I got these cards, I thought they were going to be bigger than this, but looks can be deceiving, as they say. Let's see. What else connects to the monk or nun card? What else? Could have been a very religious person, because monks and nuns are tend to very religious people. Baby. Got the baby card. Imprisonment or slavery at the bottom. So you could have been got pins and needles in my foot. You could have been a part of a monk or nun society, and the fact they had a baby kind of put, because imprisonment and or slavery is at the bottom, you could have got punished for having a baby within there, but let's see. The situation you're inquiring about involves an infant on some level. Your unconscious mind will reveal the way in which a baby plays a role in your current life. You may have already received the answer in the form of a thought or feeling. Trust this information, as your unconscious mind will slowly and gently help you remember and release painful memories. At first, you may think you're imagining this information, but as you put together more pieces of the puzzle through signs and additional recollections, you'll feel confident in claiming your past life. This card can speak about you as a baby in this or a previous lifetime. There may have been a trauma that you suffered as a baby, or that involved a baby of yours in that lifetime. It also may describe parenthood in this or previous lives. Your feelings and thoughts will guide you so that you can discern the specific meaning. Yeah, you could have been, in terms of past life, you could have been a monk or a nun, and you've had a baby that was, and you could have had a kid and it wasn't allowed. So that explains the imprisonment or slavery card at the bottom. Or in the past life, you were the baby that was left at a nunnery or a temple, and it felt like slavery to you because you felt like you didn't have freedom in that lifetime. You're looking at my hair like this. It's messy. It's because I haven't washed. I was planning to do it yesterday before I went, but you know, you kind of go for you kind of fall back on your words sometimes. I do that a lot. Like I will get a bath, never happens. But you could have been, yeah, saying you could have been left in front of a nunnery or a temple of monks, and you felt like it was holding you back, and it felt like imprisonment, or you felt like a slave to the rules of that society. But depends. If it sounds like I'm distant, I'm sorry, but you know. Or you could have had a baby, but you left it in front of a nunnery. Or was you who left a baby at such a place, like a nunnery or a temple, because you felt like, oh, if I had a kid, it's gonna hold me back from what I want. Because you thought a baby meant rules, and that's why it feels like imprisonment to you. Because with a baby comes restrictions, and you felt like it was holding you back. Yeah. Father, you could have problems with your dad, or love life. Dad could have been a monk. Asia, you say monk, Asia pops up because obviously that's the first place people think of when they think of monk. When you say monk, you think, oh, Asia, China. Because obviously when you say monk, someone over the Middle Persians was in China because they're well known of that, like the Shaolin monks. You will, oh, you could have been left. Been left at a temple or like a monastery or a nunnery by your dad in a past life because he rather had a lover than a child. You chose a lover of a child. Could have been you. Could have been a dad, and you felt like a baby was holding you back. So leave it there. I want to go after this woman. Because obviously, when you live a previous life, you don't always be the same person. You know, if you're a woman now, you could have been a man then. Just yeah, because I feel strongly with masculine energy, so I've probably lived a life as a man more than I did as a woman, as far as I feel, as far as my concerns are. Let's look at this love life card. Be the apple of your eye is what I'm hearing. The apple of an eye. You could have been the apple of your dad's eye then, and he gave up his position as a monk, or as a practitioner, or as a practitioner of such religion. No, it's my phone. Just so he could take care of you. No, so when you say monk or nun, you think Asia, don't you? Because I highly doubt you would have been left among a tapestry, tapestry or nunnery as a baby. If the orphan card came out, then yeah, it would make sense, but get a life because you always wanted to be dead, and that wasn't allowed. A part of the religion. So, let's see. Because you feel like the love of, because the love of your life is parenthood. And let me have a look. This card indicates that your father is the life in this life was with you in a prior lifetimes. Any issues you've had with your father likely began long ago. Look at the cards that you draw prior to and after this card, as they will yield clues about the previous lives that you two shared. He may not have been your father in those lives, though, as souls continue to reincarnate together in different roles. To break any negative patterns with your father's soul, be willing to release old anger of unforgiveness. This can be conscious or unconscious emotional energy stored in your psyche. Just your willingness to clear toxic relationship energy is enough to initiate the healing process. Remember that forgiveness doesn't mean that you approve of this person's actions. It simply means that you're no longer willing to carry around anger energy. By releasing the past, you subsequently heal your present and future. If you totally forgive your father and yourself, you no longer have to reincarnate with that soul, unless you choose to. You retain only the lessons, growth, and love you shared. As an added benefit, the healing work that you do with your father helps all of the relationships you have with men. So, I don't know how you'll uh-oh. So, monk and nun, baby, father, and love life. So, however that takes with you, mention in the comments how it appears to you. Because to me, it's saying your dad was a practitioner of a religious belief, some kind of religious belief, and he gave it up to become a family man. Oh, Lord. Because that's what it looks like to me. He gave up his practice to appeal for you. Even though or you could be the practitioner and you feel like the dad you thought was wounded your inner child. Your inner child is wounded by your dad because he chose a lover over you. And you're supposed to be his kid. What else? That's what it seems to me. I didn't even read the love life expression out there. Let's see, one more card. Pull my card. Feel abandoned. Even though there's a card in this deck called Orphan, even though it's not here, I feel like you've been abandoned by your dad because he cares more about who he spends his intimate time with than he does with, like, abandonment. Being abandoned by your dad because he'd rather be with another woman than settle to take care of a child. You're not the child he wanted. Even though, despite his spiritual beliefs of practice, the beliefs in his spiritual practice. Yeah, I think there's all else. Unrequited love. He could have loved someone very, very much, and I could have preferred your mother over you, even though you're his child. You're the child he had with her. Go choose your mom, either way. Even though the mother card isn't here. Unrequited love. And the card health. So spirituality and religion is on top, which makes sense. You gotta love someone very much since childhood, maybe. I think that's the big card. He had a love of his life since childhood, but because of his practice of some sorts, given the monk or nun card, he wasn't allowed. And he had love for this person, and it was affecting his health. Because the health card was at the bottom, it'll probably been affecting his health. And there's such a thing called that you can die from a broken heart, and it's called broken heart syndrome. So, yeah. Well, your father can be like, you love your guard unrequitedly. Even if you have an unrequited love for the Holy Father, maybe. Leaving or travel. Suitcase. Medicine man or woman at the bottom. Orphan at the top, so yeah, you probably was an orphan. Yeah, your father left you for someone he loves more than he would you. And you haven't seen him since. But that depends. It's like this guy, he could have loved you unconditionally, but he felt like he had no choice. He could have loved you unconditionally. Unrequitedly. However, he had no choice but to leave. Probably had no choice but to leave then. Or now. I'm not sure. However, of being left behind. Like, it might have been left behind, but in that past life you could have been left behind. Medicine man or woman. Or as you go older, you left your childhood behind to become like your dad, who you love very, very much. So you can become a practitioner of medicine. If you got a career as a doctor now, could have pursued your father's love of medical practice. Time. Just want to go like this all the time. Just taste. Not getting anything. I don't know what it is. I feel anything like I thought I tasted blood, but could have been a hematologist then. Even though that was finances. Could have saved up. Maybe your father has left you money. Make sure you had everything in case he never came back. He's left you enough whilst he pursued another woman. Or the man left you with both your child for another woman. We could have a child. A Greek or a Roman. Italy or Greece. Travel. Yeah. Biblical. Maybe religious aspects. Atlantis, and that's to do with Greek. Maybe a strong connection with the ocean. Maybe as a kid, you like traveling. You wanted the idea of it, like I do. But you didn't have the money. Follow your dad's footsteps because of how much love you had for him and admire of his work. So I measured to have a degree before having enough money to go travel and take the practice elsewhere. Don't know. To be a monk or a nun takes faith. A lot of tests. Hello. Mum's let me cat in. Say hello. Boxes. Oh, as you're traveling, you could have encountered a black cat on your way. Though these cards are on a box, if you think. I'm just sat like this for no reason. Could have a past life in Greece when all this occurred. Or Rome. Like Greece, Greek or Rome. Could have had a Greek. Your dad could either be was either Greek or Roman. It could be a mix of both, because your father's from one side. I could have had you with a woman who he thought loved him very much, or he thought he loved. She probably left you with your dad, and he was struggling medically, health-wise. You tried so hard to get the money, to get the right treatment, but you ended up losing him, maybe. Anyway. Yeah. Monk or nun, baby, father, love life, unrequited love, leaving or travel, medicine man or woman, finances, Greek or Roman, biblical. You could have been adopted by dad, father figure. Took you home, gave you all the love you needed. And you took to travel to become what you wanted, which earned you money, and gave you the ability to travel, and you've fallen back into. And then you could have done biblical practice. You share a lot of ties to the past that was a good, well over 1,000 years ago. Is how then this past life was from over 1,000 years ago, and it's followed you through time and time again. Because Greek Roman, we'll go back to then. How's it got Atlantis, which ties in with the Greek. Then you got angels, which kind of comes under biblical. Phobias, the fear of being left behind, things like that. However, despite everything that you've been put through, you probably shared quite the past with your dad then, which you might do now. So, yeah, don't drag it through mud, because it's something you hold close. Have a lot of love for your dad, like you do for your job. So you could have been a medicine person then than you can be now in the form of a doctor. So it's very like, people like to watch a lot of medical films. Because I do. Alexis, what are you doing? No trapping or that way. No way, like, yeah. No teasing. You always like to put others before yourself. Love for this. As I say, love yourself. If you can't love yourself, then how can you love someone else? As to say. So yeah, I think that's the best I can translate these cards without looking at the PDF. But I've tried. Thank you for being patient with me. But yeah, if you feel strongly about any of these cards I said, I don't think I've shown you these ones. Medicine Man and Woman. Could have a thing for dream catchers, finances. You could have it. Despite the poverty, you managed to build the wealth. Could have had a fair life in Greece or Rome, Italy. And biblical. The ability to build from scratch like Jesus did. I'm not religious, but you know, you probably know more about Jesus, Moses, and that, because you could have been there. You probably was there, but you know. Anyway, thank you for putting up with me, and I hope I've translated these cards enough that you understand. Thanks.